In this video, we're going to continue our discussion on multi-body creation inside of Autodesk Inventor. We're going to do so with a look at how to build a multi-body type assembly inside of a part file. So our intent here is to build up different solid bodies that will eventually become different part files unique to themselves through some later processes. The design we have here with the Multi-Body Creation 2 IPT is currently just a single piece of wood that's a very thin extrusion. It's a single solid body right now. However, there's more intelligence inside this file. If I go and look at my parameters on my quick access toolbar at the top of the screen, you can see that there is a bunch of different modeling parameters inside of here that will help me as I go through my design process. And this makes it really easy to set up equations and to make sure things are linking correctly the way we want them to be. So we'll go through here as we're doing the modeling and we'll be referencing these parameters. For now, I'll choose Done to close out of there. We'll begin by building this box with some of the side walls. I'll go ahead and start a new sketch on this top face. I'll project the geometry and start building a few rectangles, one on the left side and one on the right side. I'll start the general dimension command, and I would like to apply a width value to this. Now, instead of typing the value in, I'm going to use my list parameters and find my side wall thickness. I'll go to the other side and make it that same value, simply by clicking on the other dimension to link them together. So I have two rectangles here right now on the same sketch, and we're going to turn these into different solid bodies. I'll go ahead and finish the sketch there. I'll start my extrusion, and I'll grab this edge over here, and I would like to add, instead of a distance or between two faces, another one of my parameters. So here I have the side panel height, and I'll approve that. So what I did there is I created a side wall going up that left-hand side of the part. However, I did it incorrectly. I did it where it was a join. What I want to do is have that be a new solid. So to go back in and change that, I'll simply go back over to Extrusion 2 and double-click on it and change that to New Solid instead of the join operation. Here I'll choose OK. So I have my separate seam between those two bodies to designate them being different parts. Now on the other side, you can see my other rectangle disappeared. Well, that's okay. We can simply share that sketch by expanding it down for Extrusion 2 and sharing it and creating another extrusion for the other side. Again, this will be a new solid operation instead of a join, and we still want that to be the same parameter of side panel height. So right now, I have three solid bodies, and I can see that in my tree over here, solid 1, 2, and 3. And eventually, when this turns into an assembly, these will be three separate IPT files. Now I'm going to go back into my sketch 2 here and add some additional sketch geometry to this. Conversely, you could start a brand new sketch if you wanted to, but I'm just going to continue using this one as a shared element. So I'll create two more rectangles and then create a dimension on the back side here. This would be my back wall. So I do have a parameter for that. This is my back wall thickness. And for my front wall dimension, I also have a parameter for that. This one is the front wall thickness, which is a little bit thinner. I'll say OK there and finish my 2D sketch. So I want these two extra rectangles here, the front and the back, to be the same as my side wall height. I'll go ahead and start another extrusion. Choose the back rectangle. Again, side panel height be the height for that one. I don't want to join. I want to do a new solid. I'll approve that. Another extrusion for the front side here. Again, new solid for that as well. I inadvertently picked up the extra profile, so let me cancel and start that again. Make sure I pick only the profile body I want. So there's my new solid there on the front side. And I'm done using that sketch now. So I'll turn off the visibility of sketch 2. And I currently have 5 solid bodies: the front, the back, the two sides, and the bottom. Now, as I start to look at this, I start to understand as my design's coming together, maybe my model parameters need to shift a little bit. And currently, if I were to do this as separate IPTs to build this box, I would have to modify 5 separate part files. By going through a multi-body technique, I can change the multi-body file, and then that affects my other IPTs downstream after we go through that process of generating them. So what I'm going to do here is flex my design a little bit with my parameters. I'll go ahead and open up my FX parameter box again. Here I'll find my box depth is currently 100. I'll make that about 120 instead. And that's an immediate update. So if I pan this over here a little bit, you can see the change automatically happens. You can see since everything is sort of linked together based on that same sketch and based on different known parameters that are already in here, it is updating rather nicely for me. The next thing I'll change will be the overall height. So I'll change my side panel height from 80 down to 60. So it's a little bit more shallow, but it also updates all 4 solid bodies for me. I'll go ahead and choose Done. Now, as you can see here, all we did was create different solid bodies with the extrusion command. However, you could also use more complex tools such as sweep or loft or revolve, and you can create different solid bodies in that way as well. Some of your key takeaways, though, should be to use smart equations, to use good references, to use good projected references, and maybe even shared sketches to make the process easier inside of a multi-body designed file. So this has been another look at multi-body creation inside of Autodesk Inventor.